Rugby Sevens, and of course Intercape, transport providers to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers, Thorburn, specialized event services, and of course Yes Electrical down on Voortrekker Road. Folks, we've got a pretty full show for you tonight where we're going to highlight some of the matches from before. We'll catch up with Marius Ervier, assistant coach at Durban, and we'll take a look at the match between Unimil and Durban. And we'll take a look at the match between Durban and Marties. That was, of course, the finals at Newlands. We'll also catch up with Donnie Isaacs. He's the head of public relations at Kales River. And we'll take a look at the match between Belleville and Kales River as they were, of course, playing it off in Super League B. And then we'll catch Kales River in the finals against Hamlets. And talking about Hamlets, we catch up with Ernest Abels, of course, chairman of Hamlets in Mamre. And we'll take a look at the match there between Hamlets and Kales River and Hamlets and St. George's. And then we move on to Helderberg and we find out what Helderberg is doing behind the scenes, where we speak to their coach, Chris S10. And then to wrap up the show, we'll catch up with one of our favorites, DHL Stormers lock, Salman Murat. All that and more coming up on the show tonight, so don't go away. Let's cross now to Marius Ervier. He's assistant coach at Durban. Marius, hoe gaan dinge daar so aan julle kant?
Dankie JP, ja, is great om terug te wees. Is moeilike tye vir ons almal, maar ons doen die beste wat ons kan. Maar is lekker om weer terug te gaan na die ou games toe van verlede jaar en te sien hoe actually rugby gespeel word nog, want solank soos ons hier binne sit, is dit maar moeilik om net die mind te laat gaan. Ons wil 'n bietjie langs die veld staan.
Is julle ouens besig om 'n bietjie van daai te doen, die ou video's te share? Ek weet julle met julle top ouens, julle doen soms so baie video technical analysis en so.
Ja, nee, want die ouens kan maar as hulle, alles is op Facebook, op YouTube, so hulle kan daar gaan kyk as hulle wil. Ek het so 'n paar games weer gaan kyk, as 'n mens vervelig is, dan gaan kyk jy maar terug. Maar nee, ons sê dit nie. Ouens hou hulle self besig, kom maar nog 'n bietjie, oefen maar nog 'n bietjie en dan doen hulle maar hulle werkies wat hulle kan.
Vertel ons 'n bietjie van die seisoen 2019. Ons gaan nou terugkyk na twee van die games. Ons kyk na die Unimil Durban game, natuurlik na die finals toe julle gespeel het teen Marties op Nieuweland. Maar hoe die seisoen vir julle begin? Ek meen, na 2018 was dit so close vir julle en ek weet ons het soort van hieroor gepraat bietjie voorheen, maar hoe het dit vir julle begin? Wat was daai beginpunt in jou kop? Wat staan vir jou uit?
Kyk, 2019 was 'n baie exciting jaar vir ons gewees. Ons het gekwalifiseer vir die Gold Cup, so ons het sommer vroeg al begin om oefengames te doen en vroeg begin vir die Gold Cup. Ons het deur die Gold Cup gegaan nog voor die liga begin het en toe die liga afgeskop. Ons weet ons het goed gedoen in die Gold Cup, so ons het geweet die spanne gaan uitkom vir ons maar ons het targets gehad aan die begin van die jaar. Ons wil die Gold Cup gewen het en ons wil onoorwonde gewees het tuis en ons wil die Super League gewen het. Ons het een van hulle reg gekry en is die grootte, so ons is baie bly daarvoor. Maar lang seisoen gewees, ouens se lywe was taaf gewees. Maar great seisoen om te beleef en om part van dit te wees.
Toe julle daai season begin het, ek meen julle kom uit die Gold Cup uit, julle het klaar daar so 'n soort van tough games gehad. Weet julle van die begin af gedink gaan julle groot opponents wees?
Die universiteit is al altyd 'n groot wees, so UCT was 'n tawwe een gewees, Marties sou tawwe wees, ons het geweet UWC gaan goed wees. En dan die ou spanne, Valsbaai sal moeilik gewees het, Hamiltons, maar dan het Brackenfell ook deurgekom. Dit is 'n derby, so daai was ook moeilik geweest en dan Unimil wat ook baie goed gedoen het verlede seisoen en 'n tawwe game was vir ons.
Ons praat so van die Unimil game, kom ons kyk gou terug daarna so. Dit was natuurlik by hulle tuisveld.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Marius, daai game, alhoewel julle daai gewen het, dit was nog 'n close game. Ek meen, end result daarso 42-39, nogal close.
Ja, daai game kan ek nogal goed onthou. Ons het redelik goed ver voorgeloop vir halftyd en net na halftyd het ons weer 3 gedruk en ons was actually op die rol gewees en 'n paar veranderinge gemaak en toe kom Unimil terug en ons weet hulle kom altyd terug uit laaste helfte. So hulle teruggekom. Ja, ons was nervous geweest al langs die veld. Gedog ons gaan hierdie ene nie deurraak nie, maar die ouens het geglo in mekaar en hulle deurgedruk en ons het dit toe gewen. Ja, so dit het ook gewys ons kan defend of ons het karakter en ons kan opstaan as ons moet.
Is dit op daai stadium of op watter stadium in die seisoen kom jy agter wat jou koppelpare is of wie jou sleutelspelers is?
Ja, ons het al, omdat ons die Gold Cup al gedoen het ons 'n paar games meer gespeel as ander spelers, as ander spanne. So ons het redelik vroeër al geweet wanneer is ons kombinasies, maar Johan, hy is 'n great en hy was 'n brilliant coach geweest en hy het vir almal game time gegee die hele seisoen omdat dit so lank is. Ja, hy het mense surprise partykeer met die span seleksies maar goed gedoen, deurgedruk en ons het goed gedoen aan die einde. So hy het 'n plan gehad, ons almal het daarbey gestiek en ons het dit net volmaak.
Die main game was natuurlik toe op die einde van die seisoen op Nieuweland. Maties, daai was die groot game vir julle. Kom ons kyk gou daarna.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Marius, daar's hy, 22-13 toe vir Durban teen Maties. Daai moes hom lekker gevoel het.
Ja, JP, ons het hulle so 'n paar weke voor dit het ons gespeel en ons het net verloor en ons het geweet ons gaan 'n kans staan en in die finaal dan weet jy die bal kan enige kant toe bons en dan as jy jou lak maak dan gaan dit gebeur. En net voor die game toe, jy kon sommer sien aan daai ouens se gesigte, niemand gaan hierdie jaar vir ons wen nie. Dit was net amazing geweest, 'n great feeling. Ek kry actually nou hoendervleis soos ek daarna gekyk het, maar ja, was amazing en een van my beste rugby oomblikke waar ek gehad het.
Dis nou nice om weer so 'n bietjie na die games te kyk en te praat van die spelers. Maar vinnig daarso, wie was jou sterspelers? Ek meen julle het ook hierdie jaar speler van die jaar gehad.
Ja, Roan het redelik goed gedoen, Roan Loubser, maar JP, ek kan nie net een of twee persone uitsonder nie. Dit gaan net nie reg wees nie want die hele span het as 'n groep die hele jaar gedoen en almal wou gewen het. So ek kan nie net een nou uitsonder nie, maar soos ek sê, my vetties het goed gedoen, die backs het goed gedoen, maar ons kan nie iemand uitsonder die hele span het regtig baie goed gedoen.
Nee, dis eintlik regverdig so, ja. Nee, Marius, baie dankie. Ons los hom daarso en ons praat weer binnekort.
Ja, dankie en net almal stay safe asseblief. Ons kyk na julleself en hopelik is daar rugby die jaar dat ons 'n bietjie kan op die veld kom want 'n mens mis dit.
Folks, Marius Ervier, of course, is assistant coach there at Durban, and we're just catching up some of the games. Fantastic match for them there against Unimil, where they won 42-39, and then of course going on to beat Maties 22-13 in the final at Newlands. And who knows? Possibly the last club champions to have played at the stadium. We'll take a break. When we come back from the break, we'll catch up with Donnie Isaacs from Kuilsriver. They're also promoted into Super League A. Find out about their season. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. We carry on talking about the world of West Brom's club rugby, and tonight's show is a little bit going back in time, going back to some of the hits and memories of 2019, as many of the teams were preparing to get ready for 2020. And of course, one of the teams that was shining in 2019 was Kuils River. They managed to win Super League B and then went on to get promotion into Super League A. And tell me more about that story is the man himself who knows all the stories of Kuils River, Donnie Isaac. Donnie, nice to have you on the show. Been looking forward to it.
JP, great to be back on the show. It's been a fantastic year for Kuils River 2019. And I'm also glad to see that the show is carrying on, and that's good news. So rugby is still alive, so to speak.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's the priority, is to keep the ball rolling, so to speak. But I mean, you guys have. Let's cut straight to it. You guys have had. You haven't stopped. I mean, you've been preparing for 2020. We had a chat with Charlton last week, and your engagement with the players has continued, and it's just a question of you're just not on the field right now.
JP, yes, and you know what? One sort of needs to go back about a year and 18 months. That's where it all started. You know, it was a tremendous year for Kuils River Rugby Club, now known as Alto Towers Kuils River Rugby Club, as you know. And it was just an amazing year. The guys were well prepared to start off with. There was a lot of input from the executive off the field. That was pretty important. We started up a commercial team to look after the business of the club. And then obviously there's the players, JP. The guys were really, really fantastic. You know, we worked with a 26-man squad, the coaches, and they managed it quite well. It's been a long time since we could boast with 2 sets of front rows, 2 sets of locks, 2 sets of flank forwards, and, you know, that is how we managed it. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, that is what actually pulled it through for us, because we could manage those players quite well.
Well, there were 2 things that just jumped out for you there, or for me, that you just said, and you said it with such ease. You said, we started a commercial arm, and then you went on to say we managed. Those 2 things are 2 things unique on their own. The fact that you have got a management team with the ability to make a decision to have a commercial arm and then actually deploy a commercial arm, where some people still struggle to have a secretary or a treasurer. You've got a great management team.
Absolutely. You know, when Roberto Isaacs and Craig Leach, the vice president and president respectively, when we had these discussions, we just knew it can't be just business as usual, because we need to build a self-sustaining model. And because we were preparing for Kuils River Rugby 2020 and beyond. And we've started that commercial arm, JP, and our financial models kicked in. And that positiveness went over to the field, and the players could see, but hold on, there's something happening off the field, and we need to do our bit. And, you know, we had the resources. We had Gerard Matroos, Eysters, and Wessel that was heading up our coaching staff, and they used very clever ways to involve external resources to build capacity if there's a need to develop a player a bit more. So it was just one amazing year.
Let's talk about that amazing year. One of your big games, of course, was the Belleville Kuils River game. You played away that year, that match. Let's take a look at it.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Donnie, that was, I know you walked away with a win there, 44-39, but not an easy game.
JP, it was an extremely difficult game. You are quite right, because at one stage in the first half, we were down to 13 men. Stupid mistakes. And, you know, we, as they would say, we sort of lived off the scraps. You know, if Belville would knock the ball, that is how we turned that opportunity into scoring points. Yeah. And you can see two of the tries, the one that Llewellyn Woolman scored, for example, and Stephen Dyer's. That was because, you know, it was based on the mistakes that they made. But then again, you know, sometimes luck just goes your way in a game. The profile of this game, JP, was extremely high because it's our neighbors. You know, we've got a good camaraderie going. It's the cousins playing against the uncles and so forth. And obviously Warren Isaacs, the coach, they coached at Kelsver, so there was a lot of there was reason to have a good game, if I can put it that way. I think what turned the game for us, JP, in the second half, that last try that was scored by Cleo Adams, one of our star players of the year. It was started by Earl Rose in the midfield, and then we had the overlap on the outside, and obviously we scored the try. And that was our strong point for most of the year, JP. We had a good solid deck that could you know, win those balls for us. And if you can get it out wide quickly, then you know, it was always on because we had the speed in the back line.
Donnie, I think I mean, Belleville, you can never take them lightly. Dangerous side. But then for you guys, the big game was, of course, at Newlands. We know that you went on to win the league, but the Newlands must have been a spectacular game for you guys. Let's take a look at the highlights from this game. We remember this game very well because, well, obviously we were there because we got the footage. But it really has been an incredible run for Kelsver. Let's take a look.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Newlands, I mean, Newlands itself was spectacular. The weather was perfect. You had two very good teams on the park. And I remember sitting there. In fact, I remember at the game, I was behind the field on the Jan Pickard side of the stadium. And just watching from behind, I was watching Earl Rose sort of control this game as if it was in slow motion.
You know, JP, spot on. And I think if you look at the footage, there was a few driving mauls that we had and a few rucks that were set up right in front of the poles, and you could see him just dropping back into the pocket, and it was a drop goal. And that is how you should play a final, because the management of the final game is completely different, because you're not going to have another chance to play that same final. It's gone. But I think on that day, Kelsver was just on song. And I must tell you, JP, afterwards, myself and the management team, we went down into the cloakroom. That is where the Stormers sit, so they could sit at, you know, the favorite player's spot and so on. And I've never seen such emotion, ever, in a team.
Donnie, we'll leave it at that. And I'm hoping we're going to catch up with you again soon, so we can have more conversations around club rugby. And we'll, of course, say to you, goodbye and stay safe out there, stay isolated, and pass the same message on to our players.
JP, thank you very much. And from the club side, to you, as always, fantastic job. Keep up the good work. It's difficult times out there. We don't know when we're going to play our favorite game again.
Yeah.
But let's hold thumbs and let's get through this thing. I know we can.
Donny Isaacs, folks, there, Public Relations Officer, but the man behind the scenes, together with a great management team at Kells River, and they really are doing some fantastic stuff. And of course, two of the big games there that we just spotted for you was the Belleville Kells River game, and we of course know that it was a win there for Kells River, a tough game, as Donny says. And then, of course, Kells River going on to beat Hamlets at Newlands, of course, at that African Bank Challenge. So that was a massive game. I remember being there, and it was really fantastic. Folks, we'll take a break. We'll see you in a sec. Don't go away.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Right, welcome back, folks. Cape Rugby TV time. We carry on talking about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. And for those of you that are not aware of the league structures, of course, there's a Super League A, a Super League B, a Super League C, and a number of different leagues. And one of the teams that really performed well in 2019 and made it into the promotion space where they jumped from Super League B into Super League A was, of course, Hamlets. And joining me on the line from Hamlets now is Ernest Abels. Or Abels, he's the chairman of Hamlets Rugby Football Club. Erneston, how are you on your side?
We're coping with this lockdown thing, but we're coping, so we're doing quite fine.
Erneston, this is of course a different scenario for all the players. Training a little bit at home, everybody waiting to get back on the season. But for you guys in particular, you had such a great 2019. It must be a real blow because your guys must be really hungry to get into that league now.
Yeah, the guys, as I get reports, the guys are busy on their own at the moment, doing a bit of gym work on their own, fitness and staying healthy. So yeah, the guys is busy on their own.
Ernest, let's talk about some of a little bit about Hamlets before we look at some of the games here, because I think for me the thing that struck out the most in 2019 was your away record. We spoke about that every week, is that every time Hamlets had to travel, and we know you guys have to travel all these long distances. You travel from the West Coast, you go to Helderberg, you play in the Strand area there, and you had a really good away record.
What we do have is we have, as you've noticed, JP, we have a lot of support. People from Mamre and surrounds, they support us,
Yeah.
and our people like traveling. That is one thing from our people, and we do have the support not only in Mamre but also away. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there are still challenges that come with that, but it's fantastic to have those kind of fans. I mean, we've seen you at Newlands where we saw 11, 12, 13 buses arrive there.
You should have been a couple of years ago at UWC, where we had like quite a number of buses. We had to go and hire some taxis because the people wants to support Hamlets. Because with that we bring along a nice vibe, and we bring along the gears as we the players wanted.
Ernest, I want to look a little bit at the road that you travelled here, the promotion process. One of the first games that we look at here is Hamlets up against Kells River. This was an away game for you guys, but of course some interesting challenges here on it. But let's take a look at the video and then tell us about the match.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Some star players for you there. You've got some guys with some always dangerous players.
We have an exciting backline, as you can see. They are not big and bulky guys, but they are speedy. Our number 9 is Nicky Fortuin, who's coming along quite nice now.
So that was a big game for you guys. Did you think it was? I mean, you were obviously up for it to take on Kales River at home, and Kales River also a dangerous side and also promoted now. I mean, you guys are strong sides.
Yeah, JP. That was the game we lined out as the game to win, and that was the game that took us top of the lock. And they are also a very good side. Playing good rugby, and they off the field they're quite nice guys.
Then, of course, one of your other big games was the match against St. George's. Now, this was a home game for you guys, and let's take a look at this.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks. This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
So, Ernst, there we have it. St. George's, Hamlets at Mamre. A win for you guys there, 31-26. A lot of fans there, Ernst.
Die gees tussen Hamlets en St. George's is altyd fantasties.
Ja.
En ek dink dit kom nou al oor die jare aan. Die kompetisie onder mekaar is baie erg. Kan baie intens raak. En St. George's bring altyd goeie ondersteuning saam Mamre toe, en as ons St. George's gaan, neem ons altyd goeie ondersteuning daai kant toe. En van ons die spelers, hulle het daai verhouding onder mekaar waar hulle na wedstryd nog 'n bietjie kuier met mekaar. Van ons bestuurslede kuier met mekaar. Ek ken natuurlik Ruffel.
Ruben Ruffel is natuurlijk een ou legend bij ons.
Ja, ons is groot vriende, ons kuier gereeld na wedstrijd. En dan, dit is nog net iets wat nou al oor die jaar aankom, en ek dink ons ondersteun mekaar absoluut fantastisch.
Ja, Ernst, Super League A, die spring van Super League B na Super League A, dink jy, ek weet ons het nou nie games nie, maar dink julle is reg om vir die liga? Dit gaan natuurlik 'n bietjie vinniger wees, 'n bietjie groter wees, 'n bietjie anders te wees.
JP, ons is reg. Ons het 'n paar spanne wat ons soort van getarget het, wat ons weet ons kan klop. Met die oog om te bly in die liga, in Superliga A. Ja, daar's uitdagings. Ons grootste uitdaging is natuurlik, ons verkeer 'n borg, ons het nie 'n borgie. Ons spelers word nie betaal nie, dis nog nie iets wat ons graag wil doen nie, maar ons wil kyk na die welstand van ons spelers.
Ja.
Ons wil kyk na byvoorbeeld uitrusting vir ons manne, ons wil kyk na vervoer om te sny dat ons spelers nie vervoer moet betaal nie. En ons kyk na ons mediese, so dis van die uitdagings. Maar wat die betref, soos jy weet, Kevin doen iets anders na die spel toe. En hy het 'n manier om sy spelers te manage, hy het 'n manier om sy spelers te kry om te doen wat hy graag tot uitvoer wil hê.
Ek moet sê, Ernst, ek sê altyd vir mense, as jy teen Hamlet speel, moet nooit jou kaarte tel voor daai game nie, want Hamlet kan jou enige dag vat.
Ja, nie so, dit is so. En as ons nou nie rugby het jaarie, kan ons daarom seker sê ons het ons eerste jaar survive in Superliga.
Ja, jy kan sê jy is unbeaten vir unbeaten in 2020, ja. En ons los hom daarso. Die lyn was maar 'n bietjie stop-start, maar dit was lekker om met jou te gesels en ons sien uit om weer binnekort met jou te gesels.
Baie dankie JP man. Alles sterkte vir
Ernest Abels, of course, folks, chairman there of Hamlets, and Hamlets have had a great season in 2019. Would have loved to see them back in action in 2020. Of course, unfortunately, we have to wait and see what the authorities say about matches in the remainder of 2020. We'll take an ad break. Don't go away. Back in a sec.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Right, welcome back, folks. It's, of course, Cape Rugby TV. And, yes, by the way, it is bitterly cold out there. And, of course, that's as making things even more difficult for things out there at the moment. We've got the lockdown. And, of course, we would like people to stay warm out there. Folks, we continue to talk about what's happening in the world of club rugby. And, of course, one of the clubs that we haven't had them on the show during the lockdown, but we've had, of course, many of the games on the show, is, of course, Helderberg Rugby Football Club. And Helderberg, of course, in the Strand area, in the Helderberg Basin, and they've had they had a pretty good season in 29, but just fell off the wagon a little bit. Tell me a little bit more what's happening at Helderberg. We've got the coach on the line, Koos S10. Koos, hoe gaan dinge daar by jou?
Nee, goed, mag ek klaar nie, dis 'n moeilike tydperk nou, maar ons alles maar positief.
Is dit regverdig om te sê dat jy 'n great start gehad het en toe die wiele bietjie afgekom, of is daai nie fair nie?
Nee, definitief. Mens kan definitief sê dat ons het 'n goeie begin gehad en iewers het net 'n bietjie die wiele bietjie plat geval, maar ons het bietjie die off-season bietjie gaan kyk wat fout gegaan en so dis dit alles bymekaar gesit om eintlik hierdie 2020 seisoentydperk 'n goeie een te gemaak het.
Maar Koos, ek meen die ander ding is, mens kan ook nie sê dat enigiets maklik is in Super League B nie. Ek meen al die spanne was op, al die spanne was af. Ek meen Super League B, ons sê al die laaste 3 jaar, dit is die moeilikste liga om in te speel.
Ja, verseker. Dis my eerste jaar wat ek by Super Liga B is en mens soveel gewoond by die Super A Liga onder dit meeste tier en maar Super B Liga kan enige span wen. Maak nie saak wat nie. Dit maak dit soveel moeiliker om te kan beplan regtig.
En sê my gou Koos, die spanne wat julle sou gedink het in die jaar, wie sou julle gesê het was die moeilikste spanne wat julle gestrategize het, oor 'n soort van?
Yes, ek sou gesê het, kom ons wees eerlik, in hierdie strandareas, ons sê dit baie moeilik, want dit is baie clubs.
Ja.
So dit is moeilik om dit te doen, so St. George's, hierdie klein derbies, is eintlik baie moeilik. Belhar sal ook moeilik gewees het, so ja, definitief. Franshoek is 'n sterk span, so dit is maar die spanne wat jy na moes gekyk het.
Jy het so nou vir St. George's genoem, is daai, sou jy sê daai is die top derby in die Helderberg area of in die strand?
Ja. Verseker, dit is 'n top derby. Dit is die toeskouers almal saam. Dit is eintlik so 'n lekker dag om teen mekaar te kan speel, maar definitief een van die moeilikstes vir die spelers.
Jong, en Koos, sê ons bietjie, hoe gaan dit met die spelers? Is julle daarom in kontak met hulle? Probeer hulle 'n bietjie oefen by die huis ensovoorts?
Ja, ons het dan so 'n lekker Zoom sessie gehad met die spelers, ons lekker kon gesels met die spelers. Toe het ons ook Graham Benz is ons conditioning coach. So Graham Benz het vir die ouens programme uitgestuur Dan onderlangs het ons mekaar halve kompetisie gesit hoe om die fiksheid by mekaar te kan kry en hulle stuur vir ons elke dag vir ons dan foto's en video's wat hulle doen. En dan het ons ook so tydens lockdown het ons 'n potjiekos kompetisie gehad tussen die ouens om die gees te kan hou. So dit was nogal lekker geweest op so 'n manier, ja.
Het julle daai potjiekos op die Zoom gedoen of het julle ge-WhatsApp die pictures of hoe daai gewerk?
Hoe dit basies gewerk het is eintlik hoe die gees, jy moet 'n video gestuur het van die geesbou, die regte musiek saam met die potjie en ook hoe die potjie gelyk het basies. En dan die ou wat gewen het dan geld gewen. Maar dit was lekker fun geweest. Die ouens het dit regtig geniet.
Ek kan my net voorbeeld dat die ouens wat die proe doen, hulle moet maar glimlag. Maak nie saak hoe daai kos proe nie.
Beseker. En dis hoekom die stutte weet presies hoe om kos te maak. En hulle het nogal die ding gewen ook. So dis die groot ding.
Ja nee, almal sê mos hulle eie kos maak altyd die beste, maar daai's great om te sien dat julle daai tipe van gees het. Die boys is nog steeds in kontak met mekaar en ek dink aan die Helderberg is daai fantasties en maar ons het ten minste 'n video ingekry, so kom ons kyk gou na die video en dan vertel ons 'n bietjie wat gaan hier aan.
Speler wat nou nie na ons toe kom met Rieke van die Westhuizen. Hy was Lydia en Paul Roos en dis die tipe oefeninge wat ons maar vir mekaar stuur om mekaar positief te kan hou. Nou die ouens oefen maar hard by die huis. Ja, as jy nie by die gym kan uitkom nie, moet jy maar seker maar by die huis 'n soort manier kry om te kan gym. So dis hulle dan Chris Baans, ons kaptein en dan Jason Creel wat daar so ook dan hard oefen aan sy kondisies.
Koos, lyk my die ouens is nogal besig daarso met heelwat functional equipment. Ek sien die rekbande is daarso aan die gang en die emmers met die sand in die gang.
Ja, mense moet maar kreatief wees. Deesdae as jy nie by die gym kan uitkom nie om seker goedes te kan doen. So ek gee dit vir die ouens. Hulle is so positief. Hulle druk mekaar regtig en dit maak dit so lekker eintlik. Was
julle reg vir die 2020? Julle seker bietjie disappointed dat die seisoen natuurlik nog nie begin het nie, maar ek meen almal wil natuurlik begin met die game en weer eens die seisoen aan die gang gaan.
Ja nee, definitief. Ons 'n ongelooflike lekker afrigtingsspan wat ons bymekaar het. Lindbeker wat saam met die voorspelers afrig. Dat is vir Marms Boshoff ons nader getrek. Ons het vir Egan Seconds nader getrek. Bodycourt se ou druk Helderberg speler nader getrek om die skram goed te doen. So ons was gereed gewees in 2020. Wat lekker was, ons het baie diepte gekry en al die ouens werk lekker saam. Ons het hierdie jaar besluit ons gaan nie eers span of 'n tweede span of 'n derde span wees nie. Ons gaan die spanne in verskillende klere maak maar dit is tog Helderberg span wat die dag gaan speel. En die ouens het dit almal saam verstaan en almal het ingekoop met die idee hoe ons die toekoms wil gaan invat. Dit is Helderberg klap gewees en nie meer net die eerste span, die tweede span en derde span nie. En ek kan baie keer wees by ouens wat vir 'n ander kleerspan gespeel het wat weer teen 'n ander eerste span sou gespeel het. So ja, ons het regtig baie diepte gehad hierdie jaar. So dit was nogal lekker.
Wat sou jy sê? Jy weet, ek dink baie klubs het sterkpunte en swakpunte, maar party klubs ons weet hulle specialize op running rugby en ander klubs is weer sterk in die fories. Waar dink jy is julle sterkpunt?
Kyk, definitief alle jare kan 'n mens sê Helderberg klub se sterkste punte was altyd by die voorspelers. Maak nie saak wat nie. Ons het as ons kyk na in die begin van die seisoen ons teen Hamilton speel as 'n pre-season game en ons het geskram en dit was great geweest dat ons 'n Super A-liga top Super A-liga span kon geskram het. So sulke tipe goeders is nogal vir ons belangrike voorspeler wedstryde. Games en daarom het ons gekyk na die agterlyn wat ons kan doen by die agterlyn en daar het ons 'n paar ouens bymekaar gekry en nog diepte gekry.
2020, ek meen ons weet nog nie of ons terug op die park binnekort gaan wees of nie gaan wees nie. Wat het julle 'n gameplan gehad of het julle 'n gameplan as daar games nou miskien gaan kom, miskien selfs is dit in isolasie?
Ja, ons gaan nie afwyk van wat ons beplan het nie. Kom stel so ons het ons afrigters praat nogal redelik baie met mekaar en sit die idees by mekaar en ja, ons gaan miskien hier en daar miskien ons afskop tegnieke taktiek bietjie verander. Ons gaan bietjie van ons maps gaan ons miskien 'n bietjie verander en daai tipe goeders om dit te vergemaklik. Ja.
Dit help seker om daai as jy sê jy het spelers soos ek meen mense soos speler ook, Egan Seconds, but speler afrigter, dit help seker om daai tipe van specialist in die mix te kry.
Ja, dat is ongelooflik. Yes, om vir Martins Boshoff daar te kan hê wat help met die ouens met hulle skoppe wat lekker is. Ek as afrigter leer baie by hom en wat lekker is dieselfde met Egan Seconds ook Egan wat help met ons agterlyn spelers. Hulle is idols vir ons spelers en hulle kyk op vir hulle en dit is so lekker dat hulle by die klap is en vir ons baie kan help op verskillende maniere.
Koos, ons los hom daarso, ons stuur vir jou en vir die spelers daarso, alles van die beste. Julle moet natuurlik bly safe, bly isolated en ons praat weer binnekort met julle om uit te vind hoe julle doen. Ons love hierdie video's wat julle ingestuur het. Die ouens lyk so sterk en hulle lyk so fiks.
Dankie JP, waardeer dit en dankie vir julle program, ek hoor. Dit is altyd lekker om na julle te kyk.
Nee, dis ons plesier en soos ek sê, stuur vir die spelers maar die beste. Right, folks, Koos S10, of course, head coach there at Helderberg, and the guys are doing their best at the moment to stay in contact with each other. And look at how fit and strong they're looking. We love that video there. So really, I was looking forward to watching Helderberg in Super League B in 2020. And who knows, maybe we might still have some games this year. It's still early days. We don't forget, of course, in 2018, the drought had most of the season suspended and the first games only kicked off in June, and they still managed to have a full season. And although it might be slightly different this year, well, who knows, we might still get some good game time in this year, maybe just under different conditions. We'll take an ad break, don't go away, back in a sec.
This Cape Rugby TV feature is brought to you by Direct Access, your financial services partner, and Score Energy Drinks.
Well, welcome back, folks. It's, of course, Cape Rugby TV time here on CTV, and we talk about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. And, of course, as you know, Western Province Rugby's got professional, amateur, it's a wide range. But most people come from a club structure somewhere along the line, and one of our big favorites here on Cape Rugby TV, and we had him on a few days ago, of course, Salman Murat, and Salman joins me now on the line, still under lockdown. Salman, how are things with you?
Morning, JP. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah, I guess not much has changed. Obviously, we've got the privilege now of training in the mornings, which is very nice, so a lot of the guys are making use of that time.
Before we begin, let me just say Eid Mubarak, and I trust you've had a good month of Ramadan.
Shukran, JP. No, it was very good. Obviously, like I mentioned earlier, it's a bit different to the usual, but we made use of the time, and it was really good.
I think everybody wants to know what you've been doing. I mean, when we spoke a few weeks ago, it was sort of just under the lockdown. We weren't really sure if there were going to be games, and you guys were training at quite a high level. But now it's 8-9 weeks later. Things have changed a little bit. What have you been doing?
What's really nice is now we're allowed to train in the morning. So a lot of the guys are making use of that time. We're making use of that time, whether it's running on the road or just trying to get to a local field. So on the conditioning side, I think it's picked up nicely. Obviously, not wouldn't be match ready yet in terms of contact. But we've got some mileage on our legs now, and that's really nice. So we really hope we can go back into training soon, whether it's in pairs of twos. But yeah, we've got high hopes.
Have they been talking to you about that kind of stuff? Like when you train, you must train alone, or you must train with obviously all the protocols?
Yeah. They've mentioned the possibility of hopefully getting back into pairs, training together in pairs. When we've got level 3 JP, but nothing definite yet. That's still indefinite. Still waiting on permission. But for the meantime, we're just all training by ourselves. Just doing a lot of road running and continuing where we can.
Salman, the change from training at home in your house, where you're probably running around the backyard or running, skipping on the spot, to all of a sudden being able to go for a jog between 6 and 9. How'd the legs feel?
No, JP, like I said, the first week back, obviously, your lungs would burn a bit. But it was really nice. I enjoyed the time outside.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's nice and refreshing. The air is really cool that early in the morning, and you actually see a lot of people outside. So it's really nice. I personally enjoyed it. It's nice to get some mileage on the legs again, and hopefully get the bodies ready for a possibility of training together soon.
Is it cold on your side there now? I mean, I think you're in the Paarl neck of the woods, and you guys are close to the mountains on that side, and we know that there's some snow there. It must be cold.
Yeah, JP, I think it gets it gets a bit colder here than in Cape Town. So you go for your runs in the morning, but you really just try to dress yourself warm and stay warm. I guess it's a good way of trying to run faster as well, so you can stay warm.
Yeah, and I suppose it's a little bit weird when you go down the road now. You can't recognize the neighbors anymore because they've all got masks on. You're not sure who's saying.
It makes it a bit difficult. Yes, I think with everyone wearing the masks, it's a bit of an altitude mask. Basically, you're restricted with something there while you're running. So, yeah, in a way, it's a good thing, I'd say.
And the rest of the players, how are they coping?
No, they're doing really well. We stay in contact regularly. We try to have weekly Zoom meetings. So it's really nice to catch up with everyone and see where they're at, how they're finding trainings, and just try to keep each other motivated. Like I mentioned earlier on the previous show, sometimes it gets really tough to stay motivated in times like this. But I think in a team environment where you can motivate each other, it really goes a long way.
We're going to leave it at that. Salman, is there any shout outs you want to give to friends, the fans out there? I know that our club rugby guys are, they're absolutely passionate about you and they love hearing from you. And
yeah, JP, I'd just like to say to all the club rugby players, especially, obviously this is a very difficult time for all rugby players, but especially them. I think club rugby is a big part of our rugby in the Western Cape. So for them, just to stay positive, stay motivated, because before we know it, we will be back on the field again. For a lot of the club rugby players, that's the only opportunity for them to express themselves on a weekend, and it's a big part of their life. So hopefully we can work together, continue working together, so that we can get back on the field.
Thanks, Salman. Those are some fantastic words there. I know that those words are inspirational for our club rugby players out there. And I know everybody wants to get back on the park, but like you said, there are some important priorities we have to consider right now, and staying safe and isolated and following those protocols. So, yeah. Salman, we wish you the best out there. Hopefully we'll catch up again on a regular basis. As you see, it's nice and short and sweet, and we just quickly check in. Are you in one piece and you're healthy? And we say from our side, all the best to the family on that side, and stay safe.
Thanks, JP. Much appreciated. Keep well.
Right, folks, Salman Murad, of course, DHL Stormers lock, and fantastic chatting with him. Of course, for those of you that don't know, he's got a close connection to Vineyards Rugby Football Club, and of course, comes from Western Province, played through the ranks, and now playing lock at the DHL Stormers. Folks, we're going to leave it at that. It is, of course, Cape Rugby TV. We come to you every Wednesday where we talk to you about what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby, coming to you currently under difficult circumstances with the lockdown, and reaching out to many of our friends and players and administrators via the digital medium. If you missed the show tonight, well, obviously you're watching, but if you want to catch the repeat, don't forget you can watch that on Saturday morning here on Cape Town TV, DSTV 263, on Saturday between 9 and 10. We'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. Bye-bye.